Uh, what up? What up? What's good, YouTube? Yep, we live. We finally live, man. What's good with you, YouTube? We back with another stream, man. And as you guys know, as people begin to climb in here, we'll begin off by talking about something of importance. And I guess this is going to be again tied directly into the main topic of this show, where you see recently a lot of people have been talking this whole competitive talk on how I feel as though I'm the king of R&B. I got the best group ever. We're the best to ever do it. All of this talk, it consistently comes, especially at like the end of the year, where people are gathering the lists of who did the best this year in comparison to everybody and all of that stuff, man. And here's just the real deal about it. Hip hop music is subjective. And I know this for a fact because I got cousins that we like the same types of music, but yet we can never agree upon the same songs for some reason. It's really weird. But yet, when it comes to those who are claiming that they are the best in the game or they're the best rap group, like everything is somewhat subjective. Your fans will probably tell you that, yes, you are the best hip hop artist or the best group to ever do it. And if you were to just keep it basic like that, then I ain't got no issues with it. It's when you start bringing into the specifics and you start walking that thin line on, okay, I'm the best out there. None of y'all can see me. And then you start clinging to specifics saying, I got all of this money, so therefore I'm the best. That's like when you begin to go wrong. Because, okay, let's look at this whole Migos and Busy Bone called them out. Like pretty much Offset came out saying that, he feels as though that the Migos is the greatest group to ever do it and can't nobody touch them and all of this nonsense. And it was Busy Bone that came out and pretty much challenging him, saying that you not. And the way that Offset comes back at it is, man, I'll put up $1,000 that Busy Bone and the old quote unquote rappers don't have $1,000,000. And that's a terrible way to try to prove your point because you're trying to say that you're the greatest group, not the most paid group to have ever done it. So we're talking skill set, we're talking longevity, we're talking what you've brought to the music game. Like, should have stayed in that lane to keep it 100 with you. But yet, instead, what they did was start talking about the money that they got. And now, whether or not Busy Bone has an actual $1,000,000 or any amount of money on his hands, that's beyond the point. We're talking about how much money has been made off of the music, right? So let's look at the discographies because this is what makes you the money as an artist for the most part. You feel me? So let's look at the Migos. Where did I write that down? Yes. Okay, let's look at the Migos group albums. So they got the Culture one, which went platinum. Don't deny that. Then you got Culture 2. That also went platinum as well. I mean, you can't deny the success. You can't deny that they're part of the culture. You can't deny that they've molded the game to where it's at right now. But let's go back and look at Bone Thugs and Harmony, though. Bone Thugs and Harmony had East 99 that went 4 times platinum. That one album outsold all of the Migos albums. The Art of War went 4 times platinum. Resurrection went platinum. And they had a gold album up in there too. Like, by far, the more successful in terms of money was Bone Thugs and Harmony. Now, whatever happened with that money, you never know. They probably blew it, whatever. Or a lot of that money, they probably got robbed because they was with Ruthless Records, who wasn't really paying nobody because Eazy-E loaned from the best of thieves when it comes to getting people for their money. So they ultimately just defeated their own argument. You feel me? By saying that you're the greatest because of how much money you got now, how much jewelry you got now, you put a monetary value to things. And when you do that, people can show you that they've made more money off of music than you have still to this point. What up, Sean? What's good, bro? Uh, you're just coming in at, I'm talking about the whole Lazy Bone and the Migos, on how the Migos, well, Offset said that the Migos are the greatest rap group to ever do it. But yet the issue that he did was he applied it to money. Because, see, here's the thing. When you talk about how great you are as an artist, that's subjective. You can be that, and like your fans will tell you that you're the greatest, and who's to say you're not? Greatness is all dependent on whoever's looking at you. But yet when you start tying it to money, talk about how much you made or how much money you got now, then you messed up. Because like I'm going to rehash for anybody who's watching the playback, but here's the thing. The Migos, so far the discography is Culture 1, which went platinum. You got Culture 2 that went platinum, which ain't bad. They definitely doing their things. They molding the culture. They doing what needs to be done. But yet, for you to say you got more money than all the old heads and all of that, which could be true because you know they've been in the game for a while. They probably blew the money. They was rolling with Eazy-E, who learned from the best on how to take people's money out of the deals and all of that stuff. It is what it is. But we're talking about money made through music, right? So let's look at the discography of Bone Thugs and Harmony with East 99, went 4 times platinum. So that one album sold more units than all of the Migos projects put together. It changed the way that the music industry goes to this point. You feel me? Like just off of that alone, Bone Thugs is the much better group. And they're not even considered like top 2, top 3 in hip hop. Like when you look at a lot of hip hop heads and reviewers and all that, they always look at people like Facts. Facts. Bone Thugs dominating, and it's not even close. But when you look at the pantheon of great groups and stuff, like Bone Thugs should be in the top 3, but a lot of people, they be like the people who look at these things, they try to point at, oh, you got Wu-Tang and acts like that. But Bone Thugs need to be up in there. But let's continue. The Art of War, the second album, 4 times platinum. So they already doubled the money that the Migos have ever made. Uh, then you got Resurrection. Resurrection was platinum. And then there was another album, I forget which one it was, but it's like a gold album or something. Like these dudes did their thing financially. Now, whatever happened with that money, it is what it is. But Offset messed up when he started trying to apply money values to quote unquote the best. Because okay, your fans will say that you the best, whatever. And who's to say that you're not? Like this game is subjective based on the viewpoint of the individuals. So you can't be mad at anybody's opinion and all that stuff. Nobody's opinion is better than another. But when you start quantifying it, then you messed up, bro. But on that tangent, let's look at Jacquees. coming out saying that he's the king of R&B. Well, that's kind of hilarious. Like he believes in this so blindly that he ran up on Keith Sweat and was talking all that like, yeah, man, you was the king for your generation and all that, man. But ages 16 to 24, that's me. But when you look at what Jacquees has done in his career, you can look at the song Bed. That got him some notoriety. Ghetto Boys, NWA, The Click, even the Locks made more money than the Migos. I don't think the Locks made more money than the Migos. NWA, I'm not entirely sure if NWA made more money. Like, we talking 2 platinum albums. It's a different type of platinum right now with the Migos and all that. No, yeah, NWA probably did. NWA probably. Yeah, you own something there. I would say not the Locks, but all the rest of them, yeah. But okay, Jacquees got known for making the song Bid. All right, that's whatever. But what exactly has he done in the game to even be ranked comparable? The Locks first album was 2 times platinum, and the second album was gold. So they still had more stuff to come, but yet that was like the main highlights. And the Migos are still like Migos matches that right there somewhat, and they still climbing, to be real with you. So I think the Migos may go down bigger than what the Locks was. But like when Jacquees came out talking that whole "I'm the king of R&B," like Twitter went ham on him, and Twitter proclaimed Chris Brown as the actual king of R&B right now, and it's hard to deny it. Because I mean, I wasn't really following Chris Brown's discography, man. But when you look at this is pretty amazing. Like Chris Brown, the original album went 2 times platinum. The exclusive album, his second album, came 2 times platinum. The Fame album went 2 times platinum. The Fortune album went platinum. The X album went platinum. The Heartbreak on the Full Moon, which just came out not that long ago, went platinum. Like, it's not like because a lot of those older groups like Bone Thugs and Harmony, they still dropping projects every so often. You feel me? But yet they're not really selling like that. Chris Brown is still selling like that after all of these years. How can you not say that Chris Brown is just like everybody's gonna try to pull up the nonsense of, oh, he beat up Rihanna and he got into all these fights. Damn all that. Chris Brown is that nigga. And he's proven throughout the years to have dominated this age when it comes to music, even as he continued to shapeshift. And even though I'm not even a huge fan of how he changed and consistently made music, because he's not Usher. I didn't look up his discography, but I wouldn't give Usher it over Chris Brown. But Usher's still cool though. I think Usher peaked at Confessions. After Confessions, is pretty much been downhill. Like, but there was a time where, like, at Confession, right about Confessions, I would say Usher was the king. But nah, not no more. Not no more. But this ain't even like, and did you guys see that Tory Lanez tried to challenge Jacquees, saying that he's the king of R&B? Like, well, you can't even make a good album no more. You can't even make a good rap album. You haven't made a solid R&B project since the Chicks Tape original mixtape. and you trying to put your hat in the ring. Like, and I understand it though, because if you remember when Lil Wayne, yeah, I saw that too. He's trying to challenge Royce to 5'9". Like, and Royce was like, man, look, I'm giving you a little leeway here. Like, somebody call your boy and get the phone off him because I'll get him beat up out. Ah, like it's funny he's talking all this like he's not going to tour, like he's not going to try to do a show in Detroit. Like, for some, like, here's the real deal. When you go to Detroit, man, it's Royce the 5'9" and Trick Trick, and they will come for you if you disrespect. Eventually, you're gonna look and say, "Oh, Detroit, I should go ahead and do a show there because there's a lot of black people there," and you're gonna get yourself caught up. Like that no-fly zone thing, that's real. Like, there's certain places that you can't get away with this nonsense. Like, you can't get away with it out in LA either. How the whole you gotta check in with particular sets and all that in order to come to LA and make money. It's all an extortion thing. Like, I hear that the going rate for rappers to come to LA now is it like 60,000 or something? Something like that. Like, the hood is taxing all these dudes. So for Tory Lanez to be talking like Royce the 5'9" won't see him eventually, he's heavily mistaken. He really got the game messed up if he think he can challenge Royce the 5'9". But it is what it is. Like, and my homie who I do all these events and stuff with on the weekends, like, I played for him like Tory Lanez' old stuff so much that he's become such a huge fan that he's like, man, I'm so disappointed in everything that Tory Lanez does now, because he saw the little interview where Tory Lanez is talking. The important thing about how he composes his music now is getting the melody down. Like, who all of the rapidy rap individuals focusing in on lyrics, that's not how the game needs to be played. And he has a bit of facts to it because that's what this new generation is doing, but yet that's completely disrespectful to all of the people who built up this game. One, two, is disrespectful, and it's it's a slap in the face. Yeah, I feel you. Tory definitely needs to stay in his own lane and just keep making music and stop talking trash in these interviews. Just make music and collect the check, fam. But he's slapping his fans in the face by saying he's pretty much saying he's never going back to being a lyrical individual. It's not that important. It's not how he got his success, which is true. Like, he only started to see success because he decided to copy Drake. So once he realized that, there's no going back. So I can't be all that upset. But still, that's not a cool thing to do. And to try Royce the 5'9" is not the smart thing to do. And for you to challenge Jacquees for like the best R&B, like the king of R&B, who he's not even the king of R&B, like, you're having this is like when the Washington Wizards was competing with the the Celtics for who's going to be best in the East, while LeBron is still out there dominating in Cleveland. You feel me? Like, how meaningless is this rivalry that you're trying to have when the best in the game, when it comes to R&B, is still doing his thing, and y'all are never going to come close to it? mm, mm, mm. But speaking of uh beefs, hip hop beefs or whatever, man. Did you guys see that Little Pump? He uh he didn't release the song. He did a teaser to a song that he got called Butterfly or whatever. And in this teaser, he's doing some Asian epithets where he's pretty much saying that he's high, his eyes are low, like Yao Ming, and uh pretty much the typical thing that rappers say for the most part. And the Asian quote unquote community, some of them that's within hip hop, some that aren't really, they're trying to call him out on it with pretty much saying that you're not going to try our community like that and all of this, man. And honestly, I could care less about both of these sides, to be real, because neither side of this is actually cool for black people. But yet, y'all coming into our culture with this nonsense. Asians don't keep the same culture. The Asians don't keep the same energy when they imitate black culture. Facts. Because, oh, when the Asians try to imitate black culture, they will throw us under the bus with all of their nonsense. You feel me? Like I've seen some Asian people do the whole blackface and all of this stuff, and how they will look at how we do hip hop and all this stuff, man, and they will completely disrespect us on every level. But yet when somebody says something about them, oh, they're up in arms. Like, nah, nah. But I mean, I'm not even on Lil Pump's side, because if you look at Lil Pump, a lot of people don't realize this. He's what is they saying that he's Colombian slash Mexican. Like overall, they just trying to stamp him as Latino. Now, keep in mind, uh, like I hear like, yeah, white, like no, there's no such thing as Latino, fam. On the real, all of those Latinos, for the most part, consider themselves as white. Like when you look at them on the census, because there's no Latino on the census. When you look at the census, they are all, like, you can be considered as Native American, which is where Latinos really somewhat the bloodline should more be, or they're considered as white. And they consider themselves as white. That's why when you look at Florida, there's a huge amount of Cubans, in which there's like contrasting reports on whether 69 labeled himself as white when he's at the pen. Yeah, definitely. He's definitely white. And I mean, that's why down in Florida, there's a whole bunch of Cubans. You feel me? Now, Cubans, they vote for Trump, even with Trump coming out saying, yo, I'm going to deport all of these immigrants, all of these Latins, all these Latin people, and all. With them saying that, all of these Cubans is voting for him. And then they got the nerve for us to they got the nerve to be upset when they family members get deported by ICE. I'm like, but this is what you wanted. This is what, like, but the thing is, they don't consider themselves as like when when Trump starts talking all of that, I'm deporting all these illegal immigrant Latin, all these Mexicans and Latins and all that stuff. They don't think that's who they talking to. But the fact is, that's who they are. In fact, I got the stats. Let me. I got the stats on who voted for Trump out there, dog, in Florida. Oh, wrong picture. Uh no. This is Texas. I got the stats for Texas, but They the same thing here, bro. Uh, in Texas, 40%, no, 39% of people voted for Ted Cruz of men. And then Latino women, 34% of Latino women voted for Ted Cruz. That is a lot of Latin people voting for the people that's deporting their ass. While when you're looking at Texas, you got 95% of black women voting for O'Rourke and 84% of black men voting for O'Rourke. So that's all Democrats and all of that, man. But at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. Like, as I said, when the voting time came around, don't vote. For black people, we're not getting anything out the deal. So why vote just to get these particular people out of office? When the people that you're trying to put in office ain't doing nothing for you but getting the other people out. So it is what it is. I'm just making the point here that these white and Latinos and Asians and all of that, they not on our side, but yet they want to come into our culture and be all ignorant. Like whenever you see them at, say, the BET Awards or any black award show, they always come and be the most ratchet people of them all. Like looking at Cardi B, who don't consider herself as black. She wants to be Latin so bad, but when she come to the black award shows, oh, she's thoughting it all the way up. But when she go to like the Grammys or something like that, oh, she's gonna be clean imaged and not gonna be fighting with Nicki Minaj and all of this stuff, man. Like, miss me with all of this. Like, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna laugh at this Lil Pump and the whole Asian community on how they going back and forth. At the end of the day, y'all guess in all genre of music that our ancestors built from nothing, and y'all taking full advantage, and we need to wrap it up to knock these people off, to be real. Like, they don't do nothing for us, and they overtly disrespect us at every turn. We really don't need them all like that, to be real. The record labels are the ones who's pushing out the worst of the entire generation and keeping the quality musicians down so that the people can shine in all genre. Like, none of this is cool. And speaking of stuff that's not cool, did you guys see Putin, the Russian president, out there, how he wanted to talk trash about hip hop? Like, let me tell you what he said. Like, it's a bit of a paraphrase, but he says that rap is based on three pillars, which is sex, drugs, and protest. And it leads to the degradation of a nation. And how he's saying that he cannot stop it from being within Russia, but yet he must lead it and direct it. Do you know how disrespectful that is for him to say that? Because, okay, you want to talk about the things that hip hop, the quote unquote pillars of hip hop. Facts. He need to sit his wannabe styling ass down. Like, basically, your whole regime is falling apart. Don't even talk that bullshit. Like, sure, Russia's still scared of you or whatever. People are still scared of them and all of this stuff, man. But nah, you don't fuck with us, bro. Because your whole regime that you built, like the pillars that you have, are murder, intimidation, corruption. This is what you are known for to the known world, fam. Except for the people in your country that you send, that you forced to watch your own propaganda. But yet you want to talk about hip hop that has uplifted more people than you ever have. You feel me? Like, all Putin has ever did with his corruption, intimidation tactics is find ways to keep himself in power and make more money. While hip hop actually has helped generation after generation find some financing to get families up out of struggling situations. So miss me with that, Putin. Like that really pissed me off, fam. Uh I mean the nerve of some people, bro. Like it's like whenever I roll with my homie, uh, it's like we come across these promoters and all of this that when we go through and do an event and that event is slamming and we know that they got paid, we know that they got paid at the bar, we know that they did pretty good. They gonna come and try to sit us down like, man, we can't pay you the amount of money that we meant that we said we was gonna pay you from the jump. Like things didn't happen the way we wanted it to happen. That's how Putin is kind of sounding. You feel me? Uh, oh, the next thing that I definitely wanted to talk about, and I mean, this is gonna be like, I think this is the first time that I've touched on this. It probably will be the last. Like with the whole, no. I touched on it when it first happened. The whole uh the thoughts out here that tried to break up Cardi B and Offset and all of that, which they allegedly did. And now you see Offset uh, popping up at Cardi B shows, stopping it so that he can get up and try to fight for her back and all of this stuff, dude. And at the beginning, I I thought it was real in the beginning. To be real with you, I really did think it was real because it came off the pretense of some chicks out here was chasing the was clout chasing pretty much. Like this chick, I assumed that she was too stupid to try to get a bag and she was clout chasing, so she blew up Offset and a threesome that they was allegedly going to have and all of that, man. But when you see stuff like this where the whole relationship is getting aired out in front of everybody, in front of shows and all of this stuff, it goes to show you that this is fake. Like, how many other times, like, you've seen a bunch of high notable acts who were dating together break up. We've seen it, but yet you don't ever see it go down like this. Both of them are hoeing. It's fake. It's fake. It's Cardi's ass. But then, I mean, but do you remember when Mac Miller and Ariana Grande broke up? Like, he didn't go and do this extra shit. You feel me? Like, this is so. Hold up. Shit. This is so extra that it feels like an episode of Love and Hip Hop. And seeing as though Cardi B came up out of that with her, I think her publicist is still rolling with her from then, and that publicist is the same publicist that works with Offset. Like, here's the real deal. And Tariq Nasheed said this one. He said, "Don't you realize that if Cardi B really didn't want Offset at her show, then there's no way he could get in. How is Offset about to sneak into a show, bruh? Who's not going to see Offset and say, that's Offset? He's not supposed to be here." Especially Cardi B's security, in which her security is supposed to be looking out for the one person that she doesn't want to be at the show. You see how erroneous this is? But I definitely do like, I mean, honestly, they have a whole relationship. And it was a mistake for Offset to marry her off the jump. But it is what it is. Hoes sometimes can get along with other hoes. Uh, I don't care about that ratchet ass relationship. It's disgusting to see them in public. Oh, hey man, there's far worse relationships out there to be seen. Like real talk, Hugh Hefner would always be out with his quote unquote relationships before he died, fam. Did you see the news about Woody Allen's perverted ass who should have been in jail a long ass fucking time ago and shit? How for his movie called Manhattan that came out a while ago, it was all inspired off of the actual relationship that he was having with a 16-year-old at the time. And then out there in LA, man, there's still an open secret about them raping the young talent and all of this stuff, and they be out and about with them. Like, fam, there's far worse like relationships out there than Cardi B and Offsets. I'm just saying they clout chasing, bro. They out there, they out here trying to fool the public because Offset's about to drop an album. Can't hurt to boost up some notoriety for Cardi B as she's out here still doing her promotions. Well, not promotions, but she's touring for her latest album that came out. It is what it is, fam. But I'm gonna cut this one short, fam. Unless you got any questions for me, cause I'm about to go. I got a lot of catching up to do on the wheel. I still got a bunch of mixtapes that I need to listen to. That I missed from this past weekend. But this past weekend I went to Atlanta and did two shows and did a brunch there too. And then I came back to Charlotte to do a brunch here in Charlotte. And then uh, I had a whole bunch of other things to do as well. Now you still doing online shopping? You doing Christmas shopping? Yeah, like we doing like every other. It's like it's every Saturday now. No, so okay, it's every second Sunday here in Charlotte. My squad that I run with, we do a brunch. It's like a in between breakfast and lunch. That's why they call it a brunch. But we got one called the Joke Chicken and Waffles. Was at a Caribbean restaurant, and it's been packed every single time, and it really takes it out of your boy. But it's fun though. But then like in between those two, there's a second brunch that they're doing. It's like a Latin American one where it's called Coco Leche, and you know the Latin crowd and stuff, man. A lot of them be like mad racist, but this ain't like the racist one. This is the Black Latins, like more on the Haitians and the South American ones that actually do recognize their Black roots. They the ones that come out for the most part, but it's supposed to be targeted towards some of them Cubans and stuff too. But they don't really be showing up. Maybe because it's at that same Caribbean restaurant. I don't know. But we do those, and then on Saturday nights, we usually got a bunch of different types of shows that we do called Afro Pop, where that's like soca, Afrobeat. You would like it because you like Nigerian, aren't you, Sean? You're from somewhere in Africa, right? But it's all like African, Afrobeat, all that type of music. Got salsa, got a whole bunch of other stuff. Like that's like the main Afro pop is like the main one. But there's a bunch of others that we do. Like it's gotten so much that we doing them every weekend. That's why I don't really do videos on the weekend like that no more. Yeah, I knew like because my homie that I talk about every so often, that's the DJ that I run with. He's Nigerian too. Like he always say he's from the Igbo tribe. I don't much know about it, but he's cool. That's why I rock with a lot of Nigerians. Not a lot. I rock with some Nigerians because y'all cool, man. I understand y'all got the ego and all of that stuff, man. But I rocks with y'all if y'all rocks with me. But we be doing like all of this stuff, bro. And I mean, to be real with you though, I'm not even like I haven't shopped for Christmas or given a gift for Christmas in years, fam. People stop expecting me to actually give them stuff at this point, which is really, I'm happy for that because Christmas ain't nothing but a made up holiday so that people can go out and buy stuff. They try to associate Christmas with Jesus's birthday, which Jesus was a real person, not the Jesus that they painting. Igbo is the most influential tribe in Africa. Didn't know that. That's what's up. Uh, but Christmas, yeah, white Jesus. Now here's the history of white Jesus. Like there were plenty paintings depicting Jesus as he really was, as a black man with hair made of wool and all of that stuff, which is specifically put in the Bible. Which don't even like the Bible is something else. I'll talk about that too. But uh, it was Leonardo da Vinci, I believe. No. Da Vinci was the inventor. It was one of them that was named after the Ninja Turtles. That was a painter, maybe Michelangelo, but it was one of them that is attributed to selecting a model of Jesus. Like he selected a specific person who was of Spanish descent from Spain, who had incest with his own sister, that his father approved of it, and he was like a militant military man who went to wars and all that stuff, and which the artists used him as the model for for what we know now as quote unquote white Jesus. So that's just completely fucked up from the gate. You feel me? But let's go into this Bible, in which there's some truth in the Bible, but yet once you break it down, man, you can't take the Bible for face value. Because first, the Bible was written in ancient Latin, but yet after the Bible was written in ancient Latin, it was then later transcribed over into Roman and English and all of this. And then after that, uh the what up, Josh? But after it got transcribed to Roman and stuff, then who was it? The version of the Bible that people use as the standard right now, the King James version. So do you know who King James was? King James was a gay king who did a whole lot of perversion in his life. He was the last person that needed to pretty much take the Bible and update it, as he updated it with a bunch of the best writers at the time. And that's why one of the reasons why it's still lasting to this day. Like, did you know Shakespeare wrote some of the Bible? Like, so when you look at the Bible and you realize, okay, they keep updating it, and the words that it originally had, lessons can be learned from the Bible, but it's filled with fictional stories. It shouldn't be taken literally. True to a degree. Because, I mean, these stories, they update them as they go because some things are very offensive as time goes. But yet, the Bible's supposed to be a historical piece. You feel me? It's supposed to tell of a time so people know the history of things. But yet, there's in past variations of the Bible, in Colossians, there was a phrase in which you can Google it. It says, slaves, always abide by your master. In fact, where's my phone? I will read the exact scripture from Colossians. Give me 1 second to find the exact scripture from Colossians. Okay. It's Colossians 3:22. But this is in the Bible that was not edited to where it's at now. This is an early version. It says, slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it. Not only when the eye is on you and to curry the favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord. Do you know who that was written for? That was written for us. Yes, exactly. Like, and who wrote the Bible? These people who wanted to slave us to just like the Bible has been used. And I'm not going to deny that there's some good thing that's within the in all of that, man. But with things being said like that, no black person should ever really rock with the Bible. But that was in a previous earlier generation of the Bible, but now they added it all the way out for the new uh variations. Now I believe they're saying stuff like servants should always obey and stuff like that. So that's my thing, bro. Miss me with that. Like, one, Jesus was a black man, and Jesus would not rock with slaving anybody. When you hear the true to life stories of him, which you can tell that Jesus was real because he's in multiple historical, quote unquote, historical texts written in two separate times. Like, he's the most quoted in the Quran. he's seen as like the difference between the Quran version of Jesus and Jesus in the Bible. In the Bible, he's the Son of God. In the Quran, he's a prophet. So ultimately, these people in this region, everybody heard of this dude to the point that everybody was writing about him. But yet, these stories and these paintings of him got fucked up over the time because the people who got in power decided to shape shift all of the messages so it benefits them. You feel me? Like, that's where I'm at with religion. Like, I know there's a God. This world works too good for the not to be somebody who a higher being who designed the shit. Because when you look at everything that we as man has ever designed, it's always been fucked up. Like, you get you a car, that motherfucker's gonna break down eventually. You get you a house, that motherfucker's gonna fall apart eventually. It's gonna need repairs. You get all of this shit is fucked up. And it's because we designed it and we don't know shit. But the higher power that built this world, nigga, this world's been here for a long motherfucking time. How the fuck is it that it operates the way it does? The only reason why it's fucking up now is because we've been fucking it up. Like, real talk, did you know that this earth eats itself and spews it out so that it creates more land through volcanic ash and all of that stuff? Like, when volcanoes go off, that's how islands and shit get made in the fucking world. But that's really from land that the earth is drawing into itself. The whole cycle of life, or like, because I saw a documentary about what's it called, the Yellowstone Park, where Yellowstone Park was fucked up. There was a point in time where a lot of the animals and stuff in there was dying off. Like, they tried to preserve it. So how they tried to preserve it was, okay, we're going to take away these predators. We're going to take away the wolves and all of this stuff and let all of the animals just run free who's not getting ate up and shit. And every animal started to fucking die. You feel me? Like, but then when they reintroduced wolves and things of that caliber, then all of the population within Yellowstone started to correct itself. Even the water wouldn't flow no more because of what they did by taking out the predators. Like, there's a delicate balance to all of this shit that we will never fucking understand. But the world just does this shit. That's a grand fucking design made by a higher being than we will ever fucking be. As smart as these scientists continue to try to talk how they damn smart, they can't figure out this shit. Like, I definitely believe we are pieces of God. Like, we have small pieces of God in us because we don't act like anything else on this planet. Like, many people look at it like, if you want to see an alien, look in the mirror, because nothing else on this planet acts as we act. It's just we are a piece of God, but we're such a small piece that will never amount to anything that God actually is. But this is just my views on things. You feel me? I ain't trying to go too deep. But you guys got any questions, man, before I head up out of here? And I admit I don't want to just bounce like this, but I'm a little tired, Joshua. Like, you just got up in here, fam. But you can You can rewatch the whole telecast. Nothing. I then I catch y'all in a minute, man. I got some upgrade. I got some catching up to do, and I kind of want to take a quick nap in that too. I know I always try to understand other perspectives. I feel you. Like, I mean, that's the thing, man. When you study, like, cause I as you can tell, I'm telling you things about what's in the Quran. I'm telling you stuff that's within the Bible. Like, I'm not going to try to sit up here and tell you that I know everything about religions and stuff like that. Nah. But I will tell you some things that don't make sense and how these books are used against us and all of this stuff. But yet, I know that there's a greater power at work here because this world just works too perfectly. That's all I'm saying. It is what it is. But I catch y'all, man, the next go round in a minute.